Hey Bill, this is Toptitius back at you with the blue cards of Gochiusa, Dear My Sister. And to start off, we immediately have the complement to one of the level threes in our red video, which you might want to check out. This is going to be an addendum to that. Um, Hang on, that's not. Is that the card? It is the card,
But
right?
yeah,
It's the brainstorm, dude.
yeah.
Okay,
Wrong
I
card.
had there were climaxes next to it, so I was very confused.
That's
Uh,
because, well, why don't you
Yeah,
read the
yeah.
brainstorm?
That's fair. That's fine. So, me being an idiot aside, this is a brainstorm, as my co-hosts and guests have told me. This is a brainstorm specifically for these two climaxes. So it is one of those introduced back in Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. Instead of flipping four cards, you flip five. So the brainstorm text is pay one, rest two characters, flip over five cards of your deck, and put them in the waiting room. For each of these climax you reveal, so Tadaima and Okairi, you get to salvage a character. So fairly strong effects. You just hit one extra card, which is always good over time. Like,
Oh.
it may not seem like much over one turn, but you do it over three turns, and the effect it's noticeable in a large sample size. Now, that aside, it also has one other effect, which I think is actually pretty good. When you play a climax to the climax zone, you may ditch a card from your hand to draw a card. Simple, elegant. I'm a fan of that first effect, and the brainstorm is it's fine, except for the fact it pigeonholes you into this climax configuration. What do you guys think?
Brainstorm's better than the level 1 combo that you have to run.
Yeah. It's probably
We're talking
one
about
of
I
the
mean, this brainstorm is probably one of the reasons why you want to play this deck, if you're playing this
yeah,
deck at all.
I can definitely agree. And it's probably one of the best cards in that deck, if not the best card, because not a lot in that deck is all too amazing.
Oh, wait a sec. Yeah.
well, you do get to I guess splash cards if that is your desire, given you can salvage anything, and this is the relevant trait for the Dear My Sister deck if you decide you don't want to play, other climax combos. But look, I'm a huge proponent of the idea that climax combos in this game are some of the strongest things you can do. So you need a bloody good reason to not run climax combos that are the strongest, because ultimately they are oftentimes the payoff for a lot of meta decks. This is why I am not a big fan of the default 8 gate mentality that a lot of people default to when they first start testing. I think that you should shelve the safe behavior and go for the more powerful climax combos. Now, in this case, um, I think we can all agree that well, we'd be making a sacrifice if we were going all in and just playing these climaxes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I am not a fan of any of the climax combos that these climaxes represent. I do think that the Coco one is not terrible. Like, it's good value. It means you save stock and can burn with the Coco's native effect. But any of the other climax combos involved with these climaxes are
They're
kind of
both
whatever.
they're both Cocoas though. So
Sorry.
the level 1
Oh, sure, sure.
combo is a
Level three is what I
Cocoa
mean.
as well.
Yeah. The 3-2 is the what I'm referring to. The level one I think is just pretty abysmal. uh, when I say abysmal, I just mean I think it's functional, and in Weiss, merely functional is just not good enough. The Chino element of it, which we will talk about in like I don't know 10 cards time or something. It's rare, I believe.
Yeah.
It's also not very impressive in my opinion. But hey, you might have different opinions. I haven't tested this specific combo, so maybe I'm wrong.
I do like how the brainstorm in the deck lets you filter out your top checks off the combo into maybe better cards. At least you can hand fix a little bit with it instead of having to rely on versus Rize.
Uh, I guess this
Like it,
does obviate the need for some number of discard outlets.
yeah,
Discard alone.
and you're playing pants, so maybe you need it a little more. It's
Give
it's
me a sec.
nice.
I'll be right back. You guys go on for a sec.
Sure.
Yeah. I think suffice to say, this card only goes in the deck with these Climax combos,
Oh, of course.
and it's not exactly a meta choice. So I think I'm pretty comfortable calling this niche, but maybe like niche playable plus. I think this card in that deck, serves a pretty important role.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one.
So I'm gonna have it down as niche, but let it be known that this is a niche playable plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next card. Shit. Megu, Enjoying Together. This is a 1/0 4500 power card. Well, when this card is placed from hand to stage, this gets 1500 power for the turn, and is a Climax combo with the pants, with the lollies on it. When you play the Climax, you put up to one card from the top of your library into your stock, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's level 1 or higher, you put it in your hand.
It's on reverse, but
It's not
beside the
reversed?
point.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
this reverses a card. Sorry.
Yeah.
We
card's bad.
saw this first in Konosuba. I think the card, the Union then was bad. This is also pretty bad. I think you even have a way better combo than this.
Oh yeah, you do.
Available
And
to
it
if you're
doesn't-
playing the lollies. So what was the Climax for the? Was it
It's a pants. It's also a pants.
It's also a pants. Okay.
Yeah, and it also combos with the level 3,
That's
I
right.
believe.
That's right. This is just
Yeah,
bad.
it's just bad.
I think there's no reason to play this. I think the other combo gets bigger too.
It might. Let me go check. I
think
know.
it does. I think it does get bigger.
I don't know.
It's like 2K power. It's like 2K power or something. And you get to sign it like on attack
Let's
to
see here.
anything.
You give a character 1K, but it is a 5/5 continuous instead of just being a 4/5 or 6K the turn comes into play.
Yeah, I'm fine with calling this bad. I think
Yeah.
this is a bad card.
It's also locks you into 2 climaxes instead of 1, and so you don't get to play something like a Dead Stoxel for like, trying to assemble your end game.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. For reference, the other combo is on attack, ditch 1, draw 2.
Yeah,
And
so ditch 1.
I'm pretty sure this one is just a lot worse.
Yeah.
Given that it needs a reverse and it can also fail on top of that.
Yeah.
All right. Next card. Maya, Enjoying Together. This is a level 3 with 9,500 power. If you have 2 or fewer Climax cards in your waiting room, this gets -1 level in your hand. This gets 1K power if all your characters are blue. And when this is played, you can look at up to the top 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose one of them, add them to your hand, and put the rest into the waiting room. So an early play for the lolly deck, as it were. I don't think the deck actually had a good early play until now. I don't actually
No,
remember.
it did not.
Yeah, it
Had a
did.
bad Climax combo thing.
Yes, now it has
Yeah.
an easy condition, a +1, okay size.
The dick's kind of unnecessary for that deck, but the plus is always nice.
Yeah. Clearly,
This deck, right? It's not stock heavy. The deck
Yeah.
itself is not stock heavy to begin with, so this is like
yeah.
a 2-cost meter cantrip that lets you set up your level 3 combo because you quite likely used your Climax doing your level 1 combo, so you might be able to get a second one. And then
Well,
that's-
the finisher actually in that deck actually digs for its own Climax, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
It's
just
the same
extra stuff.
dig effect.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a bit extra.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Obviously a niche card. But I think in the realm of that deck, this is a quite playable card. Might even be playable plus, depending on how you might want to look at it.
We can go like playable plus niche, right? That's a new thing we can.
Yes. I still haven't figured that out yet, so this is going to show us playable plus and or niche.
Sure.
Niche plus. Haha. Okay. Next card. Did you want to continue reading or?
I'm just getting the thingy back
Sure.
up by it.
Maya, energetic little sister. This is level 0, a 0/0, 2500 power card. When it attacks, choose another blue character, and that character gains 500 times X for the turn, and X is the number 500 times your number of other blue characters. So, a Shima Kazekai effect for the blue deck. I don't think this deck needed this effect. It's obviously meant for the Megu from before, but that card sucks. So I think this is positioned a little weirdly. It's also a rare, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, we covered that on the level 1 combo, did we?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
bad.
I assume I'm not a fan. It's like a really mediocre
strictly worse than the
version of EMS.
well, even the old combo for the Lolly deck.
I'm not even comparing it to that. Like, that doesn't deserve to be compared. Like, they're so far apart.
Well, that was for the Lolly deck.
Yeah, I'm aware, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's even a question.
Yeah.
You should not even
So like, there's not much else in this deck. There's actually nothing in this deck that actually needs reverses. I don't think this deck actually needs this effect.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't need it at any point. Like, it doesn't need it at 0, doesn't need it at 1. It's kind of neat that they put it at 0 so they can, like, kind of serve as a pseudo beater and that you can kill an opponent's oversize. But I don't think that's enough utility to warrant actually playing this card in any significant number.
A niche card, I think, due to the color restriction. Playable
Yeah,
minus.
that's all
Niche
it is.
playable minus.
Yeah.
It's like niche playable minus niche. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I've got me back up. Next card is for you, China. It's a 0/0 During the attack phase, you cannot return characters from your waiting room to hand via the effect of your cards. Oh no. And when this is placed from hand to stage, it gets -1/5 power for the turn. Sorry?
Oh, you can finish.
What comes to mind?
Well, what comes to mind is like the Ilya. What's her name? Tanaka Ilya. From from Dry. Except this is obviously worse because this does not get a level.
This card is I think this card is pretty terrible. It doesn't go into any deck. Any deck running Gates doesn't want this because why risk it? There are runners in all of those decks. The mono blue deck has a runner that came in the last EV. I don't know if it has an oversize, but it probably does, right? Like, surely
I
right?
don't think it does.
Wait.
Actually.
Which deck?
I mean,
Mono
for the Lolly deck.
Yeah, I don't think it does have an oversize, but I mean, you have runner, and you have ways to pump power and level to kill things on your turn. So
I have a
don't
way.
know
I'm
if you
not
need it.
convinced.
yeah, I
I'm
don't
really
even
not
think
Yeah,
you need it.
I don't
Like,
think this card is
it's
very good either.
I played this in my Dear My Sister deck, but it's only for the blue fix and the during attack phase effect. I think has hit me once in 10 games or something. Like, I know it's anecdotal evidence, but I don't think it's that impactful in the deck when it's only playing Gates for that. And
Me personally, I think that 1 in 10 is actually unacceptably high.
yeah, fair. I mean, I just think that that if the deck needs blue, if
Surely
you're
there's
going
a better blue splash.
I mean, there's probably
There
a
has
better
to be.
blue
Isn't
splash,
there a
but
promo? Isn't there like promos? A
There's
blue
like
promo
a
you can run instead of this?
there
Like
might be a promo. you
Isn't
can
there a
run.
power pump on play that we covered? Or
I
like we'll
think
cover?
I think so. But I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I didn't have the promos. I tried it. I didn't think it was that bad.
No way. This is
Like,
you could
this
even
card is
run.
not this card is not terrible. Like
Yeah.
the
I
No,
play
I'm
mean,
the
talking
play
about for
base
the
of this
deck.
card.
I'm talking about for the deck that runs doors that would need a blue splash. There has to be better color fixing for blue than this card for a deck that runs doors.
um,
And look, this card is suboptimal, but that doesn't make it like unplayable.
No, it's
Like
just
most cases, you're gonna play this, swing into empty lane. It's gonna be a 4K.
yeah.
yeah.
Am I cutting out?
No.
No.
I don't disagree.
Christ's
I
sake, I'm cutting out,
probably
aren't
leave
I?
it at playable minus for the Dear My Sister deck, but I don't think it's bad.
I think it could be just playable minus in general, but because there's nothing preventing you from running this card
Yeah,
in any
but
deck if you need a 4K.
yeah, true.
So
Did you guys hear any of what I just said?
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sure. It's like playable minus. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just not sure because there was no response. Next card, Megu, Easygoing Little Sister. It's a 102K. It's blue. That's the primary important thing, and it's the My Sister trait. Well, at least it's been downgraded. When this attacks, you may pay 1. If you do, trigger check twice during this attack's trigger step. And when this is reversed in battle, if the cost of the battle opponent is 0 or lower, you may bottom deck it.
It's all right.
Like, again, this is just a cost bomb. The twin drive text is flavor text as far as I'm concerned. It really does nothing except help you pay out climaxes mid-combat, and that's barely worth a mention. Like, you don't play a card just because it does that. That's not worth it. It has to do something else.
Well, this card does do something else. So.
Cost bomb is like not terrible. It does the number against 3-0. It does a number against, like, I don't know, Persona, any deck that wants to wall up like that.
Yeah.
So when I evaluate it purely on the context of being a cost bottom deck bomb. Yeah, it's like fine. It's a
Playable.
playable card. Yeah. I think it's only playable in the Dear My Sister and blue decks, but that doesn't stop it from being just a generically playable card.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, next card, Chino, Enjoying Together. It's a 1/1/5/5. Now, it's one of these. If the character opposite this is 0 or lower, this does not reverse. So, it cannot be killed by 1/0s or 0/0s. And if this card were to die, instead it will just remain rested or standing or whatever it is. Which means it is immune to on-reverse climax combos. And it just lives forever if your opponent does not have a costed character to kill it. This has some application against the myriad costless 1/0 combos. So like Attack on Titan. I can't think of others right now for some reason. Talavru, like, 1/0 Shimakaze type combos.
Minamis.
Yep. But as soon as the opponent has a 2/1, like, advanced someone like Joker or that type of card, then this is a undersized, costed beta that just got murdered. So this is almost 100% a matchup choice. I don't know if the blue deck has the selectivity to pull this out when you know your opponent has or is unlikely to be running costed betas.
Has a drop searcher.
Okay, it has a drop searcher, but this card, I think, is a different type of niche. Rather than being niche in that you only put it in a certain deck, it's niche in that you can put it in any deck, but you definitely don't plan to play this except in very specific matchups. It is a powerful effect. Like, I think that you underestimate this effect at your peril, but
So niche.
yeah, sure, why not? It's a niche card by my reckoning. It's like playable plus niche, because when you do face a deck that's just all costless cards all the time, and you don't let them advance summon immediately, this card does just get you strict card advantage. And you don't even have to compromise on siding like some decks do. It is a powerful effect. So playable plus niche is what I rate it. What do you guys? Do you guys disagree or?
Uh,
I'm not really disagreeing on it.
nah, I think I agree with that evaluation of the card. Just
Yeah,
feels kind of weird
it's a
calling
bit
it
weird.
niche.
It's like because like playable plus is like runners, reasonable finishes. But this card is like if you've ever sat behind one of these and your opponent's just completely helpless, you're just taking free turns. It's like it's like doing the persona thing, except you don't have to side attack against other wall decks, and that can be powerful in some matchups. Enough to like think about playing it. Anyway, next card is Fireworks with Everyone, Chino. It's a 3/2/9/5. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may draw one card, and this gains 2k for the turn. And then it has two Climax combo texts, which is interesting. So when this attacks, you may put a Climax card from your Climax zone to the waiting room. So um, the joke is you put the gate from the Climax zone into the waiting room, and if you do, choose one Pants in your hand and put it in the Climax zone instead. So this is the first instance of changing Climax combos like mid battle phase. So it's very rare that you ever get a Climax put into the Climax zone outside of the Climax step, but this is one of the only ways to do it. Next, it has up to once per turn at the end of this card's attack. If you have the Pants in the Climax zone, you may pay 3 and ditch 2 cards. If you do, choose another character and stand it. So I presume the idea is to stand one of the Cocos that you summoned for free, and with your abundance of resources, you get to on attack burn again. Of course, this is going to cost a hefty amount, but it does give you a number of attacks for free, and it only requires 2 slots, which is not bad. But I am skeptical. Like I am not convinced this is what you want to be doing in the Gochiusa deck, especially when we have arguably the strongest finisher of all time in the same set. That being said, I haven't tested it. Have either of you tested with this card?
I can safely say that this combo is at least consistent. It's not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but you can at least consistently do double Chino and 5 attack. Like when you're trying to be switch and you have to have less awkward board setups and you get free heals, I think it's a solid combo. In the Dear My Sister deck specifically.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You can't play it outside that deck, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
there's so many moving pieces.
Yeah, well,
Well, one of your pieces
does-
require is an on-reverse Rize for the trait, so yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to go for, it's still a generic restand combo,
I
but
mean, that card's mediocre, but I think that if you can accept drop searches as functional, then I think you can accept the on reverse Rize as functional.
No, I mean you have to run.
Oh
Like,
no, I
you can
understand.
only
I
run
understand.
you can only run this in the Dear My Sister deck because like one of those cards that you're running is useless unless all your cards are Dear My Sister. So
yeah.
Sure, I guess, but this is actually a combo you can play standalone. Like,
You can.
this does not require you to specifically get Okai
sorry.
at Climax.
Sure. That's true. You could just pair this with like a
I don't
level,
think you
like a
would.
one soul beater, sure, that you played that turn.
Yeah, certainly. I don't think you do that, but I mean, you could. Now, I do want to emphasize that regarding climax swapping, like some people may not be aware, but climaxes are also contingent to the continuous and auto ability effect that characters have. So every climax that asks you to move a card from one zone to another, so whether that be drawing a card or putting a card to stock, or anything of that sort, or any card that asks you to choose characters to get an effect, so the dual 2k1 souls, those are auto effect climaxes, and once those have happened, they've happened. You can't take them back. The climaxes with symbols on them, so except for standby, so gate, shot, wind, bar, all of those are continuous. So if you are to take a gate out of the climax zone, if you take Okari out of the climax zone, or no, Tadaima or whatever, you take Tadaima, the gate, out of the climax zone and put the pants in, there is no change in overall soul. You've taken away a +1 K +1 soul and put in a +1 K +1 soul. However, if you were to say put a stock soul from the climax zone into the waiting room and replace it with pants, it's additive because stock soul is an auto effect. I just want to clear that up in case people were possibly misplaying this because it's not intuitive. But if you are swapping climaxes like this, sometimes it is additive, sometimes it is not. That being said, that's a bit of a sidetrack. This card itself, I think that we still call it niche. Like, I don't think there's a reason to play it in the pants outside of the DMI sister deck. You have stronger climax combos, and you're not really stretching anything to do it, but I don't think it's strong enough. Like, it's not reasonably costed or anything, in my opinion. Like, it's a climax combo, pay 3, ditch 2. It's like,
it stands.
I guess
It stands anything,
reverse,
right?
but...
So this might have been pretty okay if you had something like I don't know, like a generic, like say you had Marika, like say you just had Marika, you know?
I mean, you don't. Wait, what do you mean?
Like
We
literally
kind of
Marika.
have
I'm
Marika.
talking about literally have that card. If you could
Okay,
restand
sure.
that, play this card in the standard deck with Marika and have some fun. But what I mean is, if you had something worthwhile, like something really, really good to stand with this card, that isn't like the Cocoa. This
Marika
might have been
needs
fine.
to-
This might have been pretty good.
I mean, we have an effective Marika clone in this set in that it can just burn on attack, and the on reverse thing with Marika only happens once.
Right,
so
but Marika's
we
free. I mean, it's just like
basically
it's obscene. It's an obscene amount of resources, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem. Like, this is not a efficient use of resources as opposed to the Cocoa, which was extremely efficient. This, on top of it, pushes it into unrealistic territory. So I'm
Yeah.
going to call this like playable niche.
Okay.
I do think that it's not a bad effect or anything. It's just expensive.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine calling it playable.
I'm good to go with that.
Oh, it's playable.
Seems good. Okay, next card. Playing in the pool, Chimame Core. Is this like their third level 3? Like the Lole Brigade?
I think it's
I
their
feel like
second.
this is their... Didn't they have a promo?
Oh wait, yeah, they did. They did have a promo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So playing in the pool, Chimame Core, because they needed another level 3 for some reason. When this is placed from hand to stage, draw 2, ditch 1, perfectly fine text, and oh god, when this attacks, you may pay 3, ditch 2. If you do, deal 5 damage to your opponent. So this is what you want to restand, right? So you can
Yeah, dude.
you can
Absolutely.
I am very down on dealing 5 damage. I think as soon as you hit 4, it's shaky, and when you hit 5, like over a large sample size, you're not doing yourself any favors. Draw 2, ditch 1 is a replaceable effect, and this card has nothing else that's special about it. It is at least Rabbit House trait if for some godforsaken reason you want to put it in the Rabbit House deck, but I'll leave that up to you. I'm putting this as a playable minus because I think that's what it is. I don't think we have another rating to give it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like playable minus. Damn. 2 minuses make a plus, so I can't actually do that. Next card, Little Sister Mode Maya. It's a 0015. Your other blue character in the front row center slot gets 1k power, so pretty decent support effect. And Climax combo when Soap Bubble attack, which I suppose is a stock soul.
No,
That's
it's
one
a
of those,
split 2k1 for blue cards.
That's terrible.
No,
Excuse me,
sorry,
I'm
it's a split. It's a split 2k2 for blue characters. My bad.
I'm sorry, 2k and 2 soul?
Yes, to 2 blue
Yeah.
characters.
That's mildly terrifying, actually. Anyway,
believe
so
it's
the
2k2
actual combo, choose up to 2 of your characters, and they gain the following effect. When the battle opponent of this is reversed, this gains
Wait,
2k power. So
Never mind. It's
the
2k.
card-
No, it's split 2k1 for blue characters. What the heck?
okay, sure.
Alright.
So it's 2k1. So This is a bunch of
Oh.
underwhelming effects and an okay support effect that all adds to be a very mediocre.
It is 2K2, but I mean, beside the point, it actually is 2K2.
Oh, it is 2K2?
Yeah, there's like 2002 on the original card text
Oh
and
my
Hotsy messed
god.
up.
Heart of the
Thanks, Hotsy.
cards.
We're watching you guys, Hotsy.
Alright, so
Anyway,
it is 2K2,
2K,
so it is 2K2, so split
I don't
2K2.
think that actually bumps this effect up because the
No, it
climax
doesn't.
is so mediocre.
You do have
Like
an
what it
empty
does,
climax slot in this
it,
deck.
what it does is it makes, well, you kind of do, but I think that you're actually better served playing like not 2K2 Soul. Like, so what this does is it turns the 2K power from the split 2K2 Soul into a until end of opponent's turn effect, and that's only if you get the reverse. So, by my reckoning, this is extremely underwhelming. There's no advantage attached to it. You are going. I'm not going to say you go straight minus because the 2K power could make a difference. Like it could help you survive till the end of the next opponent's till the to your next turn. But I think this is one of the worst sorts of advantage when you're trying to build towards a mid game and late game. And as a result, I can't rate a card like this highly. Like I have played similar effects, probably worse effects, and they've never been impressive, even in decks that don't mind the power. It's just never been impressive. It's extremely mediocre throughout. What can I say?
Niche playable minus? Niche bad? I don't know.
I think it's actually niche bad. Like, if you have
Alright.
this in your deck, I think your deck is worse off for it because not only is 2K2 Soul an extremely mediocre climax depleting time, like, one Soul's a nice amount because you can already manipulate, like, soul damage up to 3 with 2 Soul and 1 Soul characters, right? You can do 2, you can do 3, and with the 2K1 Soul, you can leave a 1 Soul to be like that. I don't think there's a lot of merit in engineering 4s. And
Okay.
at the same time, I think that adding double crit triggers or double soul triggers to your deck is, if you can avoid it, I think you do. If you can avoid it.
Yeah. This all the characters also need to reverse, which is like
Yeah, it's
pretty
pretty.
pretty unfortunate.
This is not a push. Say that much. Next card is Chino, the phone that doesn't ring. It's a when this is placed from stage to waiting room, you may pay 1 and clock yourself. If you do,
Most
draw a card.
notably, there is not a phone in this card.
You could have a cell phone somewhere.
But it's not pictured. Like, where's the phone?
I don't know. No, it's implied, right?
Yes.
This is a pretty.
What can I say? You're the one who's played with the most similar effect in that Chihaya.
No, I don't. No, I. What? Don't associate me with that card. I've played with it in Ilya. It is okay in Ilya. It's also okay in Fate.
Okay, so this card is reasonable in decks that, like, they don't have a lot of.
Like, some decks
deep
don't
advantage.
care. Some decks don't care what they get. Right. For some decks, this is just to enable a tri-field of sorts if you run a lot of level zeros. And so, like, the idea is you'll draw your other zeros, naturally for the tri-field, and then this card will give you the hand back. It isn't selective, so it won't give you another 0 to attack with necessarily, but the idea is you run a lot of level zeros anyways. Like, this will refund your card. But,
I think this effect is stronger in decks that have Azusa type effects. Now, while blue Gochiusa does not have Azusa, it does have a Climax combo which needs you to discard a card in hand to begin with. So you do kind of turn that raw card into also extremely questionable card advantage because you're just drawing cards, right? You're not that Climax combo.
I mean,
is
if you
on
draw
top
enough
attack.
cards, you'll eventually get what you need, right?
Yeah, once you
That's
have
the
drawn
idea.
50 cards, you will have what you need.
It's like playing
That is-
Zoroark GX.
Yeah, but Zoroark GX is when you have like multiples of them, you get everything
Well, you
level
get
1. It's
multiples
like,
of the combo, man. It's like playing Pokemon.
yeah, pretty much is, but Pokemon's cancer, so I don't think that's actually a
You also
compliment by
can't
anyone.
draw into things like Hex Maniac in Weiss. So,
It's expanded, dude. Alright, this card is just a straight playable by my reckoning. I think that you can play this if you want to aim for that tri-field, especially in the blue deck, because I don't think you have much else in the way of
you
enablers.
have Clean Cut. Haha.
Yeah, you have clean cut runner.
Uh, I don't know. This
Uh,
card's like pretty aimless. It's fine.
sure, maybe it is. Let's bump it down to playable minus.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking playable minus.
Yeah, sounds good. Alright, you convinced me. Oh no. Next card. Oh
Wait,
god.
did
Magical
I?
Gochiusa. It's
Oh, I screwed up.
1045. Screwed it up. Okay, it's a 1045. Oh my god. Her magical chant is ridiculous. Why am I. Okay, so,
Are you gonna read it?
if this is on the stage, it gains the magic trait. Woohoo. And when Fluffy Paradise is placed to the climax zone, this is in the front row, choose up to one level 1 or lower character in your opponent's front row and put it in the waiting room. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 0 or lower character, add it to your hand. Hey, remember that magical girl Coco that we talked about in Red? That technically combos with this too. You can cut a card
Whoa.
level by.
Uh, I love
This is
Hoppo. Ooh.
Yeah.
is especially effective against Western versions of Guardian. Let me just also mention it's the stock soul that it combos with, which is like fine,
Yeah.
whatever. This is Hoppo, pretty much, except I think it actually has a worse selection of cards to pop. Like instead of popping a brainstorm, you pop a random, like you pop a runner or something. It's so mediocre.
You do get to pop Aaron.
Yeah, look, I do think that I think that at some point someone's gonna have their budget DMI sister deck with this card in to screw with people, and they're gonna come up against like 8-gate Persona 5, and they're gonna do Jordan nuts, and they're gonna have 3 7Ks, and your mostly blue deck can't stop it. And then someone plays 3 of this, and then looks the Persona 5 player right in the eye, and says, I played a Climax combo, and then Exodia appears behind the Gochiusa player, and then everything is ruined. But that exact situation aside, I think this card is awful. I think your deck is worse if you put this card in it.
Dank
It is
meme.
not selected. Dank.
Dank meme.
This is not even dank meme. Like this is bad.
Well, this is
just
supposed to
bad.
pair with the other Cocoa, which we ranked already.
Yeah, but that card is like a dank meme. This card you could see people playing unironically, and I want to discuss.
Dank meme minus then. All right.
Wait, how does this even pair with the Cocoa? Because this isn't the. Or no, never mind. Because one that's like.
Next level, so you can get kill level 2s.
But isn't that on attack?
Yeah. Oh.
This is on Climax play.
Oh my god, it doesn't combo with that at all.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I guess this is just bad. That makes me sad.
You can't dank me anymore. My bad, guys. I messed up. I messed up.
Dang.
Okay, so this guy's just not selective. Popping your opponent's cards barely matters because all good decks plan to lose their front row, or all good decks have a plan in case they lose their front row anyway. Next card, Chino, Big Sisters, 1055. You have no other Coco on your field. This does not stand during your stand phase. It's not really a drawback. You can quite easily get a 0/0 Coco into back row. I'm pretty sure you can, right?
Yeah, you
It's
can.
got to be a brainstorm.
Yeah.
When another Rabbit House character attacks, this gains 1k for the turn. So it attacks as a 7/5, defends as a 5/5.
It seems so.
And I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
Like it's like a a really mediocre Shimakai, like extraordinarily mediocre.
Wait, it's not even
Um,
Shimakai.
yeah, what I'm saying is it's like a card that can assign an attack, but it can't even assign attack elsewhere.
Uh,
Okay,
yes.
sure. Shimakai's a bad one. Like what's the Naruto called? The determination to fight or whatever.
Yes. Okay, that's a
Bad
better
version of that.
comparison.
Bad.
Yeah.
Um.
I mean, we
Well,
have
actually,
cards of this type, like typing, right? Already?
isn't it
Like,
actually a better version of that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
I
this
thought
does it
there was
every turn.
there's a 1/1 in the extra booster that just gets massive.
that's a 1/1.
True, but I mean, like if you're needing a giant beater, then I mean, I think that's a better option
Is it?
than
No, that's a
this.
1/1. This is a 1/0.
Eh,
I don't think
Rabbit
that's a
no.
House
good
wanted stock,
comparison.
but Mono Blue doesn't care about its stock.
Wait, but Mono Blue
So I
can't
think
run Cocoas.
oh,
Yeah, okay.
that is very true. So
Yeah.
this only goes into like red bluish decks, and in those decks you can run better things if you so desperately need power. I don't know. This doesn't seem like completely unplayable to me. These cards are rarely ever completely unplayable, but I do think we should discourage people from playing it. Ugh, it's like playable minus.
Yeah.
Like
On the
playable
low end
minus.
of playable minus.
We need to expand these ratings. But yeah, playable minus, I think is where it is. We could just go to like letter grades like they do on limited resources. But
Sure.
yeah, more arbitrary grades. This is a C minus or D plus. Now we'll stick with the playable rating until we get something sorted for real. But yeah, playable minus and it's not good. Like it's the bad version of playable minus, if you can deem such a thing. Okay, next card, Little Sister Mode, Megu. 2155. All your other blue characters gain 1k, so it's a support. And rest this, look it up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose one and put it on top of your library, put the other into the waiting room. So, as always, I'm obligated to talk about how much I love this sort of effect and how I consider it cheating. And yeah, this probably makes it into the mono blue deck. It seems good enough.
Maybe?
I like the level X a little more than this, I think.
The level X
But
gives a bit more power, I guess. But I don't know. Like,
yeah.
we talked about it before, how that deck doesn't necessarily need power that much.
Yeah.
So this effect might be better.
Might be.
It's free milling and free trigger setup every turn. And your brainstorm in that deck is a tap self brainstorm. So. Oh.
I think that
this actually works really okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So choosing the best card of the top whatever, the top 2 to leave on top for either brainstorm or trigger's sake, I think is actually really powerful. Like arguably even more powerful than the effect I call cheating, which is just tap to check top, put on top or bottom. Yeah, I'm a fan, but I don't know. I haven't played the deck, haven't tested it, so it's purely theory. I'm gonna give it a playable. I'm not gonna be biased.
Yeah.
I can call playable.
I'm good at playable. Niche playable.
Yeah, playable niche because it's in the blue deck only. Next card, Invitation Chino. It's 2/1/6k. It's another support. All your other blue characters gain 1k, and pay 1. Tap this. This is the level 3 from the first set, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Pay 1, tap this. Choose your level 3 Chumame core from the first set, and that character gains on reverse heal. I'm pretty sure that is still the combo you played, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this worth it? Is the question. It's like you want up front for a support, like not a bad support, just a support, and then from then on in, every 1-cost investment is probably a heal.
Yes. That deck doesn't have great healers. I think the best healer that it has is some card that gets big by itself.
Yeah.
So this might be a better way to get those heals.
I think it's probably fine. I'm giving it the same rating as I did the other support, playable niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems fine to me.
Okay. Next card, Aoyama Blue Mountain, deadline tomorrow, 216k, and for one, she's on trade. She's Dear My Sister. She's got Alarm, so she's only got Alarm. If this is at the top of your clock and you have 4 or more Dear My Sister characters, at the start of your Climax phase, you may put the top card of your deck into stock. So this applies at any level, not just at level like 2 or more, despite what this card may look like. It's just got these effects because they wanted to give it a soul trigger, I suppose. Because it is like the weakest possible card with soul trigger, unless you count like bad 1/1s from aeons ago. I don't know. I wouldn't call this payoff for the Dear My Sister deck. It's such a transient effect. It requires you to have it in hand and still want to clock at those points in time. At those points in time, yeah, it's fine. Like it's not really problematic to have to clock this. In fact, it's a good clock target. You never want to play this. But is it worth a slot in your deck? That's the real question you have to ask.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think you have to run multiples of this for this to be a realistic effect to have go off every game.
I don't even think, I think you need to have it go off more than once for it to
Yeah,
actually...
I mean, you just need to run a lot of this card, and this card just actually doesn't do this card doesn't do anything else, quite literally.
This card has like less than 0 worth in the late game, and because like not only is it a trigger when you may not want one, but it's also just a completely dead. Well, it's not a dead top deck, but it's a pretty bad top deck.
Yeah.
What can I say? I think this is like it's not a bad card because that effect is like it breaks one of those rules for Weiss, right? Like you can only get so much stock a turn. This is additional in addition to stock soul and other such effects. And you know, I don't know, it's like playable minus. I'm very skeptical.
Playable minus niche.
Yeah, playable minus niche.
I'm leaning on the edge of bad because you just have other options to build stock, so you don't need this ever.
Okay.
Like, I think the 1-0 Mocha, the 5k, is enough because you're not spending stock on anything besides brainstorm, I think.
All right.
It's totally reasonable.
I am down to call it bad.
I'm gonna stick with playable minus because I do think that it's not actually bad. I don't think it's just I would not start it in a deck. All right. Next card, Megu, Tickling. It's a 0015.
Yes.
You're level 1 or higher. This gains the following ability. Put this in your stock. Choose up to 1 Maya Tickling in your hand and put this in the slot this was in. Any guesses as to what Maya Tickling is?
Oh boy, what could it be?
It's actually a 1/1 vanilla as opposed to a 1/0, which means this is actually a stock positive way to get a 7k down. It is unfortunately a hand negative way. So you are, instead of going down 1 stock, you're going up 1 stock for a 2 stock deficit, but you're losing a card. So in reality, you're not cheating anything. You're just going par for the course. And then you have tap, choose a character, it gains +1 level and 1k for the turn. This does not stand during your next stand phase.
You use this effect and then you send it to stock.
Yeah. This is bad because one, you can't give the card that you summoned and want to give power, level, and 1k. Like you literally can't. That's just not something you can do until you have multiples. And 2, you're being forced to run a 1/1 vanilla. I don't need to say anymore.
Legion.
This is thoroughly mediocre.
Well, no. If it's bad, it's not thoroughly mediocre. It's bad, right?
Oh no, I regard mediocrity in Weiss as bad because this is like a perfectly fine effect. Like you get 1/1s, sometimes they live, and your game goes on, but you're not really. It's not a strong game plan.
Sure.
Like my definition of bad in Weiss is oftentimes just utterly mediocre. And this is utterly mediocre.
Alrighty.
Alright, next card, Cheena, matching rabbits, 002k. When this is placed from hand to stage, this gains 1/5 for the turn, so it becomes a 0035.
Oh.
And when this attacks, give one of your other blue or rabbit house characters 1k for the turn.
This is
Pretty adorable bunny. Like, I do think that bunny is very cute.
I think the card's
Well-
pretty whatever.
Yeah.
It's there are better cards like that serve this function on play, or like cards that would serve to kill things, and there are better power pumps. This is not better than any of those cards at at either of the things it does. It's like one of those weird, strange in between cards that ends up being like just not very good as a result.
Yeah, it kind of like does a bunch of things, but it doesn't do anything super well. So, I mean, this is still like playable minus. It's not, again, it's not like bad, but it's also nothing approaching like, actively good or actively playable.
Yeah.
All right, next card. Power combined, Chino. It's a 0/0k. For each, oh god.
Yes.
For each of the other front row, this gains 2k. It gains magic on stage, and when your other magical girl Coco attacks at this in the front row, you may kill one of your opponent's level 0 or lower characters in the front row.
Okay, dank meme time.
Yeah.
You can give it dank.
Dank
I
meme
think
time.
dank meme is appropriate.
Whew.
Good grief. Okay.
You can hit up to
usual
6k.
Amazing.
You definitely can. Usual pitch, you know, it's 0/025. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay one, ditch one. If you do, search your deck for a blue or rabbit house character to add it to your hand. So it's a all-purpose drop searcher for everything but bread. It seems.
Playable. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
also not for yellow or green. Sure. So everything blue and red except bread.
Playable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So Tom gives this a good meta
The drop searchers are the best.
pass, and I give this a playable.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's gone. He was cutting
I
out for a little
think
bit.
he's
So
unfortunate.
we will continue. Journey of self-discovery.
Oh, okay.
Aoyama Blue Mountain.
So I cut out.
Yes. The 0/0/2500 power character. When this reverses a card, you can send this to memory, and if you do, at the start of the next draw phase, you may choose the same card in your memory and then put it on any slot on the stage. This was a Haruhi power-up card.
No, it's not the same card. You may choose any. Oh no, the Haruhi power-up card is a mill too,
Yeah.
which is like
Yes.
relevant because that deck did not mill.
You think this card's
Don't
playable?
Play this. This is bad. Really? I think this is bad.
I think it's alright. I don't know. It's like,
Except in Magical Christmas Land, where you're reversing like, okay, so maybe against like Kimono, this card is okay, but against decks that don't present you easy reverse targets, this is pretty abysmal. Like, this doesn't deal with runners. It can't kill an oversize easily.
It's
unless
only
you play,
because
like,
it's only
bad
because
cards.
the upside is just not very good, right? Clean cut is a more acceptable effect because the upside is it turns any other level 0 into a beater, which this does not.
The upside is
Actually-
that you get an extra attack.
Yeah.
Card, you do get an extra attack for free, and you even get a plus. In that the card lives the next turn, and you intend to attack with it, as opposed to attacking with like a brainstorm where you don't really intend to attack with it again. Well, I mean, you could argue that that is a plus. Just they're both pluses. God, this is like a bad clean card, isn't it?
I actually think this is just.
Uh,
I'm actually just gonna change like maybe playable minus at best, if not bad, just because you do have clean cut. in the same deck.
This is the bad clean card, right? Like,
Yeah.
aside from getting you to level
Wait,
1 quicker.
Dear My Sister deck has a clean cut?
Oh well, Dear My Sister. I'm thinking mono blue because you can play this in mono blue.
Wait, you can run this in mono blue? I guess you
Yeah,
could.
they only check for blue characters, so you can run
But
this.
yeah, well, I mean, you could run this
In
in
that
Dear My
regard,
Sister
it's
deck.
and then Dear My Sister, you'd rather just play runner. Pretty sure.
Niche something something or bad.
Yeah.
I'm on bad. I don't see anyone playing this unless you're also playing other bad cards that give power, like the 0/0 Megu. At which point, why aren't you just playing clean cut?
Well, clean cut
come on,
only works
guys.
in the lollies deck.
Yeah, okay, but why are you playing this in anything but that deck? Why are you playing it in that deck?
You can run it in Dear
Why
My
are you
Sister,
playing it
right?
in any deck?
Hey man,
Why?
it's Dear My Sister.
Blue fixing? That's like the worst. Why don't you just play? Oh, there's gotta be better blue fixing. Like, play the stupid meme Chino. That's a better card than this. Okay, those are
Okay,
strong
it's
words. I
okay,
disagree.
man.
I don't agree. But
All right.
that card has dank meme value. This card has nothing. It's like pretending to be a card you should consider. I don't think you consider it.
All right.
All right, next card. Chino going out new cards. It's a 1/1. Whoa. It's been a while since I've seen you. It's a 1/1/1/5 counter, and when you use the backup, look at the top card of your deck, put it either on top or bottom. So I don't think I've seen this since like original rewrite Chizuru, which was exactly this, but
No, we've seen it in a few sets.
because back then this
Really?
card probably, but I don't pay attention because this card is mediocre. Like,
This card was in Automaster Cinderella Girls. This card was in Schoolgirl Strikers. This was in there's probably something else I'm forgetting.
okay, so
it was a lot better
Idol
back
set
then.
that doesn't exist.
This card's bad.
I haven't unironically played this sort of effect in a long time, and I don't intend to start doing that.
Okay.
This is just an inefficient backup that sometimes saves your ass. Like, I'm talking 1 in 100 games, maybe. It'll get you an immediate cancel. 1 in maybe 1 in. It's a lot more likely to eventually get you a cancel down the line. Like, probably quite frequently, actually. But is that worth 1 stock? I'm not convinced it is, because it could just as easily change your draw from a non-climax or like a from the climax you wanted to. What I'm trying to say is that this scry effect on defense doesn't really do a lot for your math. Like, it doesn't largely change whether you're going to survive a turn or not. And there is math to back that up. Like, it's only 1 card difference. It's why Leafer counter is overrated.
You're gonna call this bad then?
Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't know if
minus.
it's bad.
I think this is playable.
I mean, you have
minus.
a 2K counter, so I don't know why you're playing a 15 counter.
Well, I mean, you value the scry for some reason, and if the power is not a huge deal to you, and in mono blue, I don't think you actually have very much in the way of power.
Well, you have a 2K counter in mono blue.
Yeah. You have 6/5s and a 2K counter.
Yeah.
That's a serviceable secondary plan.
So when you use this, it's purely as a pay 1 check top, probably mill it, or probably put it on bottom. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I would call this playable minus. This serves like a different niche than like a regular 2K counter would.
I'm also on playable minus.
I don't value
All
this
right.
card too high.
Okay.
Next card's a vanilla.
Oh, but so
card after that.
useless.
Yeah. The plushie that started it all, China, 2125. 2115. When you use this card's backup, which is 2,500 by the way, you may ditch 2 blue characters from your hand. So blue characters specifically, not climaxes. If you do, bottom deck one of your opponent's characters whose level is higher than theirs, so it's an anti-change effect with a pretty abysmal cost. Like, this is, yeah.
Wait, wait a second. I need to look at some of the other cards in this example, like this mold. 1 second. Do these cards usually
The
require
Kana.
trading
Yeah.
characters?
I don't think they do. I think the one in Konosuba is just 2 cards.
These are usually pretty. These usually let you discard climaxes. I guess it's because this bottom decks. What?
You
It's not
might
even
just be
blue
better off
cards.
playing.
It's blue characters. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're just better off playing the bomb.
Wait, no. They're completely different cards.
I'm thinking
people
as
need to
out
stop saying that bombs are like they're different slots. So you run them for different
Okay.
reasons. That said, I think this card is poo. So
Oh yeah.
like you could even in the mono blue deck, you could even run the old level 1 Coco counter if you wanted. Like,
Yeah.
I think that would be better than this. So, yeah.
I don't think that anti-change counters and anti-change bombs have a comparable role. Yes, they both kill like early plays and stuff, but one of them has the ceiling of being anti-damage. The other one does not have a ceiling. It is just exactly what you see.
Also, bombs suck.
Yeah, no, this card sucks. This card sucks, and the bombs have like they have more problems than just being bombs. Yeah. So this is Is it bad?
It is absolutely bad.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad.
Niche playable minus at best.
Yeah, playable minus niche is where I put it.
It doesn't put this at bad.
It's very sad card.
Like
right,
I mean, you could literally play the old Cocoa anti-change counter since you have the blue drop searcher that searches for anything, right?
Yeah.
If you actually need this counter effect, you could just search for that card instead of running this card.
Okay, but this is also just a 2/5 counter, which you might.
Well, you have
want
a
to
refresh
save
counter,
your own.
right?
Yeah, you do.
You have a refresh counter
this
to go into
both.
that niche.
This is both roles at once,
Sure.
and like level 1 counters don't really have a role in that deck because your cards are all like skill or like 6/5s. I just don't
That's
think this
fair.
is a completely obsolete niche. I do agree that it's at best playable minus niche.
I think the cost
All right.
makes it prohibitively.
Oh yeah, the cost is awful. I think
playable.
I've actually played with it more than you have. It is abysmal. Abysmal.
Well, you play ditch 2 characters?
Well, no, not this specific cost, but the equivalent.
I've played with ditch anything, ditch 2 anything. That affect's fine in certain decks. That affect's totally fine in some decks. Because you get to ditch climaxes. You get to ditch climaxes. That's totally fine in some decks. Some decks,
If not, you lose so much.
For some decks, it's absolutely totally fine. The fact that you can't ditch climaxes with this effect in a deck that runs pants is just, I think, I think that just lowers the effectiveness of this card just so much. It really sucks. I don't know.
That's what it is. It does what it needs to do. You never want to ditch 2 to anti-change. It's garbage regardless. It's garbage regardless.
No, it's good in context.
No,
This mono blue
really
deck
not
isn't.
good.
This blue deck obviously isn't the right context for this type of effect, especially because it doesn't ditch climaxes. But it's whatever.
We've got 3 arts in the same Q1 event. Chimame Core, Salute. What is it? It's counter, brainstorm, so lots of keywords. If you have 3 or fewer blue characters, you can't play this from hand. You need 4 or more blue characters. It's not actually very hard in the mono blue deck. Mill 3 cards from your deck. If there is at least 1 climax card revealed this way, choose a character. If you're into 4K power and the following ability, the character opposite this cannot deal damage to a player. Otherwise, put this event on top of you. So this is pretty much some mono blue decks are like good, and when I say good, I say it very, very loosely. Like, this is a fine card. we've seen this already in Idolmaster Silver Girls as a red card, and that red deck was nowhere pushed as the mono blue deck in Gochiusa. So this is a shoe-in as like a 3 of probably. It really depends. It's potential anti-damage, and I don't think you need to say anything else. This effect is like if you mill 3 and there's no climax, congratulations, you just milled 3 clean damage. And yes, you have 1 like damage at the top, but that's way better than 3 clean damage. If you mill a climax, then fantastic. You anti-change them. Not anti-change, anti-damage them. There you go. And the 4K power is like whatever.
It's gravy. I think this is. I actually am fairly down on the compass effect recently, but obviously I think the effect is still powerful enough to play in this deck. So, a niche card, but I think I'd give it actually playable plus meta niche.
Yeah.
There are very few. There's exactly one other deck that can actually play this effect. Like this compass effect.
I mean,
In a reasonable
I
deck
don't
shell. In a
count,
reasonable
like,
deck shell.
like Kantai is pseudo reasonable.
It's more reasonable than Red Idol
You're so
Master
extremely
Cinderella Girls.
You're, is it? I'm not convinced of that. Oh, so you're extremely important.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, this card is. I think that I agree with that rating. What was it? Playable plus meta niche. That sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Cool.
Okay. And we end on, oh god, this.
Memes! Once more. Oh,
One
oops.
best shot.
Oh.
We'll just cycle through these
events.
arts and then...
Alright, one best shot, 3-3 events, climax combo. If you have full of best shot in your memory, this is a climax, by the way. The climax, when you play it, sends itself to memory, so don't worry too much about that.
No, you have to play a 1-0 to send it to memory. The climax just gives 4K while it's in memory.
I will defer to you on that because I have never wanted to try a deck that self-destructive in my life. But oh god. Okay, so if you have played the climax combo to send the climax to memory, search your deck for up to 4 best shot or treasure characters. So pay 3, search 4. Discard 4 cards from your hand to waiting room. Shuffle your deck. Because you serve.
Shuffle your deck, and then...
Choose up to 4 cards in your
Okay.
opponent's waiting room. Add them to their
library. And then your opponent shuffles their deck. And you just spent 3 stock for this.
was what that deck needed. This needed freaking... And yet they give us this complete blank of a card that basically does nothing. Oh,
Dude, this is sick compression, man.
so
This
bad.
is compression to make up for the fact that you sent your climaxes to memory.
Unfortunately, that's not how ratios work.
It does if you play like 4 of this.
It does if you freaking, yeah, well, you play 4 of this, you got there. Now you start triggering your...
Dude, and then you put like you put 16 clean cards into your opponent's deck. Oh my goodness.
This is a bad dank meme. This is like the sort of work you have to do for Osamatsu Exodia. Except 1, that deck is illegal, and 2, that deck literally wins the game when you play it. This does not do that. This is like oftentimes a dead card at all points in the game.
On the bright side, this does let you hit your restand a little easier.
Wow. Oh my god.
It is almost perfect hand sculpting. I will give you that, but I'm not willing to pay 3 for perfect hand sculpting. Oh
Dude,
my god!
just wait.
Especially
Some
when it's like,
some guy's gonna play 1 of that climax, and like, you know, and like one of the good thing that sends it to memory,
You have to play so many cards to send it to memory.
and then they're gonna play this event, and then he's gonna like post it on some on the internet and be like, this deck is awesome.
Now, what's going to happen is they're going to play against the LB deck that runs 4 of the 2/2 event and 4 of the 1/1 event that send cards to memory, and then they won't even have to play the best shot cards. They just have cards go straight to memory.
Easy.
I hate this. This is bad. This is not even a dank meme. This is like this would be a great dank meme if it was actually like a powerful effect. Like if it said, if you have full of best shot in your memory, perform the following action as many times as you can. Put full of best shot from your memory to the waiting room, and then like put 5 cards from your opponent's waiting room on top of their deck. Like it would have to be something as to that for best shot to actually become a meta threat, and this is not that at all.
It's even better.
Okay, you do you, man. You do you. I expect to see you at your next WGP with this at the top tables. Anyway, that is all.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
We'll be back with yellow and green.